We are currently asking that you wear a mask while you're in the building, whether you have been vaccinated or not. The sanctuary flowers today are beautiful, and they were provided by Simone Height in memory of Nicole, a beautiful soul that left us too early. And did you receive a piece of paper? If you don't have it, Brandy would be happy to bring you one. These are order forms so that we can pre-order the life cards that many of you probably came and helped design in the first place. So we would like to pre-order how many sets we need, and so we ask that you fill out your order form, and you can either leave it in the basket when it comes around, or you can hand it to Brandy or myself. And we want to thank James Masters for his creative originality, his ideas to even make these. So that was a wonderful idea. Please join me in our mission statement. Our mission is to encourage and inspire spiritual and personal growth by empowering each other to be authentically all that we came here to be. Please join me in the affirmation for today's daily word reading. I let go and allow true forgiveness to flow through me. When I am wronged, it can be easy for me to justify hurt feelings and even defend my resentment. Holding on to anger might seem to protect me from future injury, but I cannot be judge and jury for another. Doing so means I bear the greater cost. Eventually, I realize my feelings are not ultimately caused by another, but by my own judgment and my decision to hold on to bitterness and indignation. I choose instead to help heal the situation by envisioning only good for the other. I am blessed by a feeling of lightness as I release and let go of any negativity. Forgiveness is a blessing and a gift that I give myself. The scripture is Matthew 18:21 and 22. If you'll join me. How often should I forgive? As many as 7 times? Jesus said to him, not 7 times, but I tell you, up to 70 times 7. And let's repeat the affirmation. I let go and allow. During our prayer and meditation this morning, please hold the following for prayer for their highest and best experience in life. Paula, Declan, Krista, Cindy, Linda, Jessica, Tom, Mary Lou, Mark, Ron, Shirley, Jenny, Edna, Dana, Christine, Fern, Huspa, and all that appear into your minds. Allow the beautiful peace-filled tones of the prayer bowl to center you as we begin to move into our time of prayer and meditation. As the sound and the vibration from the prayer bowl begin to fade away, we center our minds on the Christ presence within each and every one of us. We join our energy and our spiritual consciousness to heal the world around us. Inhale, hold, and exhale. Inhale, hold, and exhale. To focus on our prayer and meditation, we choose to relax our bodies and our minds. Starting at the top of your head, relax down through your forehead, your cheeks, your ears, your eyes, your jaw. Relax your neck and shoulders. Roll your neck and shoulders if you feel the least bit of a tension. Follow and relax your arms, wrists, fingers. Return your attention to your heart, to the heart area, and to your lungs. Relax your chest, abdomen, thighs, knees, calves, ankles, toes. Bless and give thanks for your body, for the functions of your organs. Inhale, hold, exhale. For those whom prayer was requested, we affirm their healing, the abundance of prosperity, and their guidance from their higher power. For every person on this planet, it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. May all of your needs be infinitely met. May you feel love from your family and from your neighbor. May inclusivity surround everyone and all be accepted and respected for who they are, just the way they are. To call forth our good, we forgive those for whom we have continued to hold resentment and more. To ensure peace on earth, we maintain peace in ourselves, around us, and we send peace out to encompass the planet. Maintaining our consciousness of prayer, allowing our relaxation and prayerfulness to remain, we continue into meditation. Let me hear a sigh of relief, releasing stress, worry, concern, hopelessness. In its place, we infuse our lives with relaxation, assurance, security, promise, and love. Prayer is not to change God, it is to change our attitude, our consciousness. What am I following myself to hold on to? What am I allowing myself to hold on to that tends to block my highest good? First, I forgive myself for all the things that I think I have done that were not in my best interest or the best interest of others. I set my intention to forgive myself every time I feel a twinge of lack of love for myself. Jesus said, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." Whether I think it was accidental or on purpose, I forgive all others for their transgressions, whether they are real or imagined. If my resentment, my pain, my hurt returns, I forgive again and again. Forgiveness is a blessing and a gift I give myself. In the silence, let us begin the practice of forgiveness in the silence.
right, we're going to mix it all up again here and put Richard back on guitar. Our first special is by Ms. Baylor Cumberworth. I Forgive Myself, Coco Love Alcorn is the artist.
It's hard to say the words, but they're words I need to say. So I will say them now before they slip away. I forgive myself. I am worthy of love. How am I the one who's always last in line to trust in who I am and believe these words of mine? I forgive myself. I am worthy of love. I forgive myself. All the worry that I carry as I carry it around is dragging me down. All the doubt I feel inside, even when I know it's wrong, it goes on and on and on. On and on and on and on and on. It's hard to say the words for the mercy that they bring, but with a melody they are medicine to sing. I forgive myself. I am worthy of love. I forgive myself. I am worthy of love.
Good morning. And that was beautiful. Thank you to Baylor and our band. I'd never heard that song before. How's everybody doing today? We're doing good. It's good to see everybody here. Seeing some of you that I haven't seen for a while. I do want to say a big welcome to Reverend Jerry Comstock. This was Jerry's first church. She was back here in the day of David Schumacher, so way back. And she has been my mentor in so many ways, so just really glad that you're here today, Jerry. Glad you're with us today. And I want to give a shout out to Tom Long and to Mary Lou Rao. That they haven't been able to be with us for a while, but we're keeping them in our prayers as they are on their journey of healing. So, Old Jack and Old John, they were members of the Church of Sheboygan, and they were both on the board of directors. But Old Jack and Old John, they did not get along at all. When one would say yay, the other would say nay. So Old Jack passed away, and he goes up to the pearly gates, and he sees that St. Peter is asking everybody a question. And so as he gets up there, he said, well, I see you're asking everybody a question. And St. Peter says, yeah, well, the question I'm asking everybody is, I need you to spell Jesus. So old Jack is like, okay, J-E-S-U-S. That was easy. And St. Peter's like, yeah, great. Now listen, can you take over for me for a little bit because I need to go to the restroom? So old Jack is like, sure. So he's in line, he's standing there, and people are coming through, and he's telling him to spell Jesus. And all of a sudden, old John comes along. And he walks up, and he sees old Jack, and he goes, what are you doing here? And he said, well, St. Peter had to go to the bathroom, so he put me in charge. I have to ask everybody to spell a word. And so old John said, well, what's the word? And old Jack thinks for a minute, and he says, spell Albuquerque. Okay, so today we're talking about forgiveness. And that was not an act of forgiveness. And I do have to always bring up this song when I talk about forgiveness because it just cracks me up. Because here's the thing, you guys. I know in our humanness, this is how we felt sometimes. And this is a song by Jaron, J-A-R-O-N, and The Long Road to Love, and it's called Pray for You. And it goes like this. I'll just read a verse and a chorus. I haven't been in church since I don't remember when. Things were going great till they fell apart again. So I listened to the preacher as she told me what to do. She said, you can't go hating others who have done wrong to you. Sometimes we get angry, but we must not condemn. Let the good Lord do his job, and you just pray for them. I pray your brakes go out running down a hill. I pray a flower pot falls from a windowsill and knocks you in the head like I'd like to. I pray your birthday comes and nobody calls. I pray you're flying high when your engine stalls. I pray all your dreams never come true. Just know wherever you are, near or far, in your house or in your car, wherever you are, honey, I pray for you. Okay, can we all admit we've had some of those feelings sometimes? Absolutely. This is not the forgiveness that we're talking about today. You know, it's interesting because forgiveness really is something that we should be talking about on a pretty regular basis because it's something that comes up for us, I'm going to say, pretty much daily if we're alive and we're integrating in life at all. There are things that kind of take us off our center, right? Whether it's in traffic or on the news or just interaction within your household or whatever. So forgiveness is a very, very, very important thing for us to talk about. So I want to start, and I start like this usually when I talk about forgiveness, with something by Mary Alice and Richard Jaffola from their book, The Quest. And what they say is, you have come to a turning point in your journey. A gate now stands before you. Beyond the gate lies a special trail, which while carrying you sharply upward is incredibly easy to climb. Major overcomings and great spiritual progress bringing much joy and peace are to be found on the trail. So much of what your soul longs for can be experienced as a result of journeying there. So are you ready to experience a greater flow of love and peace and harmony and abundance and health into your life? Are we ready to have a greater experience of that? Absolutely. Are you ready to let go of past hurts? Are you ready to let go of, some of those big and little ugly negative burdens that maybe have been weighing you down for a while? Are we ready to let go of those things? I do think that we really do want to let go of these things. So they go on to say, yet there is only one access to the trail, and that is through this special gate. If you cannot go through the gate, you will find yourself at an impasse, and your travels will come to a standstill. You are at the point where you can make no further progress without going through the gate. You will discover that other paths lead backwards or sideways, or not forward, and will eventually bring you back to where you are right now. The only way to avoid this, of course, is to open the gate, and that is the gate of forgiveness. Norman Cousins said that our life is an adventure in forgiveness. And I thought about that, and I thought, isn't that really true? That, really our life is an adventure in forgiveness. Because, again, we deal with ourselves, and we deal with other people all the time. So we have opportunities, really pretty much, like I said, on a daily basis. But we have opportunities quite often, yes? Okay. Just waking you up. Okay. Here's the thing about it. Forgiveness really is one of the most difficult, hardest, least like spiritual practices that is absolutely necessary to our greater life experience. It's one of the most life-changing and one of the most empowering spiritual journeys that we can embark upon. In Webster says that forgiveness is to stop feeling angry or resentful towards someone or some institution for an offense, a flaw, or a mistake. And it even goes to the point of saying to cancel a debt, to literally just cancel it out so that it's no longer affecting our life in a negative way. So I found this book, and it's by this author, Fred Luskin, and it's called Forgive for Good. And it's a really, really good book. Fred Luskin has been studying forgiveness for, I think it was like 12 to 15 years. He teaches it. He's helped thousands of people through the forgiveness process. And Fred Luskin says that it's almost impossible to live the life that you really want if you are angry with yourself. Anybody ever have issues with forgiveness of self? Yes. Or with other people. Not only does it leak all over the place, but it corrodes your health, and more importantly, it corrodes your hope. So what I've kind of realized is we're pretty good, I guess I'd have to say for myself, at holding on to blame and shame and guilt and resentment and unforgiveness. And the reason that I say that is I get it because I know that there are instances in my life where I have blamed somebody for how I feel about myself today or for something in my life that is, occurring today. I seriously don't do that now because I've worked through a lot of forgiveness, but I get it. But I want you to hear that I allowed it to define me. I created the story around this. And here's the thing, is that we carry various things with us. Things like I have abandonment issues because my mother or father left when I was young, or perhaps they passed away. I have trust issues because my spouse cheated on me, or I have low self-esteem issues because maybe what a teacher said to me or a parent said to me. I think that probably a lot of us have had some of those things happen where in our childhood we were told something about ourselves that we took on to be true, that we've carried into our adult life. Anybody have any of those things? And they can be good things too, but today we're talking about the forgiveness process. And, or things like because I was physically, emotionally, even sexually abused, I'm never going to live a truly free life. And here's the things. These things are valid, my friends. These things are real. These things are true. Forgiveness is not about saying that these things didn't happen. That's not what forgiveness is about. In fact, it's important. When people talk about forgiveness, forgive and forget, I don't know about you, but I haven't forgotten any of it. Because the forgetting is really not a healthy thing for us, because we want to learn whatever there is to learn from the experience that we had. So we want to be aware that forgiveness is not about saying that it didn't happen. Forgiveness is never about condoning the act. And forgiveness is it's not necessary to have a relationship with the people or the person that you are trying to forgive unless that person is you. You're going to have a relationship with yourself. So if you're working on self-forgiveness, we want to definitely have a good relationship with ourselves. So how many of us can agree that we have created some less than empowering stories based on something that happened to us that we've carried forth in our life? Yeah. So here's the thing. We have to recognize that we created those stories based on what we knew at the time and based on the tools that we had to navigate the difficulty. We did the best with what we knew. We did the best with what we had at the time. Yes, we did. And I love that saying that says, when we know better, we do better. And so today, my hope is that we are going to know better so that we can start doing better and we can move through this differently. So let's go back for a moment to the stories. If we created the story, who gets to change the story? Hello, we get to change it. Yay, that's empowering. And here's the thing. I'm going to say this a few times throughout this, but even in some of the most horrific and horrendous things that have happened to people, they have still been able to find their way to a place of forgiveness. And you know what else they found their way to? Happiness and joy and freedom and peace and love and hope. They found their way to a life that works for them in an empowering and a positive way. So with forgiveness, I want to first talk about some of the benefits of forgiveness, but I want to share what Fred Luskin says about some of the benefits of forgiveness, because there are so many benefits, and I can't name them all here. But he says, in careful scientific studies, forgiveness training has been shown to reduce depression, increase hopefulness, decrease anger, improve spiritual connection, increase emotional self-confidence, and help heal relationships. Learning to forgive is good for both your mental and your physical well-being and your relationships. Studies reveal that people who are more forgiving report fewer health problems because forgiveness leads to less stress. I always think about that saying that says, holding resentment towards somebody is like taking poison and expecting the other person to die. Because the first person that is receiving the toxins in your body is you. When we're holding on to that anger, when we're holding on to that resentment, when we're blaming, or even take this to when we're feeling those feelings within ourselves about things that we've done in our life. Literally, my friends, it's creating toxins in our body, and it's affecting our health. Now, it's not only affecting our physical health, it's affecting our mental and our emotional health as well. So there's so many. I was listening to podcasts, I was reading other things, and just the various things where they've been able to, and he does a lot of studies himself, so where they've been able to literally measure the difference in somebody's heart rate, measure the difference in their brain waves when they have moved into that place where they have imagined even that they have forgiven their offender. The person that it hurts the most is you. Holding unforgiveness and resentment, blame, shame, and guilt. So, again, I want to say this again because I want us to understand that I know that we want to blame other people for things in our lives, for where we're at. And again, I'm not saying that these things didn't occur. I am not saying that we should let everyone off the hook. I'm not diminishing the extreme experiences that many of us have had. But again, I want to say this: nothing lies outside the realm of forgiveness. Nothing lies outside the realm of forgiveness. Nothing does. And it doesn't matter who's right or who's wrong. The thing that matters is your freedom. That's what matters. Now, I do want to say this because I hear a lot of times in spiritual circles, people talk about, forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness is not for the other person. And here's what I want to say. Initially, that's great, especially if we're having a hard time letting go of something that has just been there for us for a while. You can focus on the fact that forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness is going to free you. But for me, in the highest spiritual realm, forgiveness is for everyone. And forgiveness is for the person or persons, whatever, that you feel were the offenders. I often hear people say, karma, going to come back. And it's going to get that person. And again, I get it, because in our humanness, that's where we want to go. But from the highest spiritual perspective, and we're going to talk about this in a few minutes, we don't want anybody to suffer. Again, it doesn't mean that in the physical realm there aren't consequences to actions. It doesn't mean we just let people off the hook. It's not about that. But from that higher spiritual perspective, we're going to desire good for them. Ultimately, that may seem like a far jump right now, but I promise you that you can absolutely get there. So for me, I realized that unforgiveness was my inability to let go of my pain, And when I really dug deeper into that, what I realized was that it wasn't as much my inability to be able to let go of my pain, it was that I wanted my pain to be acknowledged. And what I finally realized one day, the thought that came to me was, is it worth everything that I'm feeling so disconnected from? Is it worth the pain that I am experiencing every day to wait for an apology that I probably will never get? And the answer to that question is no. It is not worth it. Again, we're going to start with forgiveness is first to release you. Forgiveness is first for your freedom, for your overall well-being. So Reverend Patricia Bass kind of talked about unforgiveness like holding a sack of potatoes. Because the reality is, there's not usually just one thing that we've held on to. There's usually numerous things that we've held on to. But honestly, guys, even if you just were holding one potato in your hand, and you kept holding that potato in your hand 24 hours, 7 days a week, that potato is going to get heavy after a while. But not only that, have you ever kept potatoes too long? Anybody ever kept potatoes too long? They start to grow tendrils, which are like roots. And after a while, they get kind of gross. And they stink and they smell. And she says that we carry the past with us like this heavy sack of potatoes, and the longer that we carry them, they start to take root and they start to restrict our heart. And for me, when I thought about that, I thought those are those times, I think, when we feel so stuck in the pain, we feel so stuck in that place that we can't even begin to imagine our way out of that pain, imagine our way out of how we can possibly forgive someone. Because again, I know that there have been some pretty crazy things that have happened to many of you, and they're beyond what I can even possibly begin to fathom in my own life. And so sometimes we get stuck in that place of and especially if someone isn't acknowledging that they've done anything wrong. That's a tough one, isn't it? And what if they're doing the same thing over and over again? Number one on that, I'm going to say, get yourself out of the situation 100%. Remove yourself from that situation as soon as you possibly can and create a healthy boundary, because that's important. But she goes on to say that when we hold these things for too long, then our life begins to stink. And I thought about, have you ever been around somebody who lives in that victim consciousness, and it's a constant thing of how bad their life is and how all these bad things have always happened to them and how they continue to happen to them? And it really is almost like this, it's hard to be around people who are like that all the time, right? Anybody know anybody like that? Yeah, okay. So David Owen Ritz, he's the author of Keys to the Kingdom, says the past isn't our past. It has become our present at a different level, and it will be our future unless we release it. So the smelly, gross bag of potatoes is still going to be ours until we release it. So how do we do this? Well, I'm going to give you a couple different things here, but I want to start with Fred Luskin because his was such a different thing than what I was used to, because his is about that forgiveness is really about finding our place of peace. And it's not so much a process, quote unquote, of what I'm used to insofar as forgiveness, but it's almost like if you've ever had a toddler, and a toddler is like, having a fit or something, you want to divert their attention. That's like a key thing. You want to divert their attention to something else. And when you present something else to them, they oftentimes quit throwing the fit or whatever, and they focus on whatever you've diverted their attention to. Well, that's a lot like what Fred Luskin is saying here. So what he suggests that you do when you find yourself in that place, and how do we know that we're in that place of unforgiveness? Do we feel it in our bodies? Do we, like, is our chest kind of, like sometimes my chest will just feel almost like it hurts. My heart is palpitating. My mind is crazy because I'm thinking about this. We know, right, when we're in that place of, oh man, and we're playing the scenario over. Anybody ever play this scenario over and over again? Holy schmoly. Talk about bringing some pain upon ourselves, huh? So what he says to do is when you find yourself in this space, and this is really a heart math thing as well, he said, stop and just take in 3 deep breaths. And so we're going to do this. But first, I want to ask you to do this. Think of something or someone. It could be somebody that you love. It could be a pet. It could be a place that as soon as you think about it, it's this amazing experience of love. So I like to think of my little dog. I can look at her face and it's this amazing experience of love. So think about something like that. So here's what he says to do. So I'm going to invite you to do it with me. Just take in, count, for a count of 6, we're going to breathe in, hold it, and then we're going to blow it out. We're going to do this 3 times, okay? Ready? Breathe in. Let your body relax again. One more time. Now just focusing on your heart space. Bring whatever this is into your mind and into your heart. Feel this love. Allow your heart to be filled with this love. And just allow this love just to begin to fill your body. Feel it literally expanding from your heart space. It moves through your entire body, moves into your mind, until you just feel this incredible experience of love. And then the next thing that he suggests that we do is to start focusing on the things that are good in your life. So look around in your life, in your mind's eye, look around in your life and be grateful. Just think about everything that you're grateful for. It could be, your partner. It could be your home. It could be your job. It could be your backyard. It could be just whatever, that you have a warm bed to sleep in at night. But you're now focusing on what you're grateful for. And that's it. And that's it. That's the diverting your attention. And I'm going to tell you it works, but here's what I'm going to tell you as well, that when you're in that place and there's a lot of energy around it, it may take more than 3 deep breaths. Because I practiced this week on something that was really bothering me, and my body was in this whoa, and it took me more than 3 deep breaths, but I'm going to tell you I got there. And the beautiful thing was that I was no longer in this energy. And what Fred says is that forgiveness is about finding more spaces of peace. And the more that we find those spaces of peace, the less we're going to be focused on this negativity over here. It's pretty brilliant, really. And it's something that I had never heard before. So from another practical perspective is, how many of us don't really want to forgive, but we want to forgive? Like, there have been times when I'm like, I don't really want to forgive this, but I want to forgive because I know that it's the right thing. So in those moments, it's just opening ourselves up. You guys, I have to remember that we have help. And this help is this unseen help that surrounds us, and it's within us. And it's here for us. However it is that you conceive of that which we call God, it's opening yourself up to that and saying, I want to forgive. I really want to move into this place, and I want to forgive. And just allow yourself to be open to that, because I promise you, as you do that, things will show up for you. Here's one thing I want to suggest. If you have been carrying some things for a really long time, get help. Reach out and get help. If you can afford to get counseling, get counseling. If you can't afford to get counseling, come and talk to me. It is so important that you work with somebody if you find that you cannot do this on your own. And here's a couple of things. Number one, it's okay to feel what you feel. I always say that. But I always love this little saying that says, it's all right to sit on your pity pot every now and then, but when you're done, remember to flush. So, it's okay, but we're not wanting to go tell everybody the story over and over again. That's kind of defeating the purpose, isn't it? So find a trusted person to talk to about it. But then here's the big step. Jesus says, hold on, next one. Jesus says, hold on, there it is. He says, but I tell you who hear me, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, and pray for those who mistreat you. We're not going to pray like Jaron prayed. What we want to do is we want to find a place where we can pray for the people who we feel have hurt us the same way that we would pray for our most beloved person in our life. And really, to me, the scripture is like we love, we do good, and we bless others by praying for them. If you're thinking, oh my gosh, what do I have to do good? Pray for them as you would pray for your most beloved person in your life. And the thing is, you guys, if you start practicing this, it will make a difference. You will find that you start to feel differently inside. And it's amazing because we are connected. Things can happen in the other person, and you pray that they do happen, but ultimately it's about your spiritual journey. How often should you do that? 7 times, 70 times, as long as it takes. As long as it takes is how long we do it. So we're going to close with sharing just this affirmation together. Dear past, thank you for all the lessons. Dear today, I am ready to live my best life, and so you shall. I did want to tell you that Paula and I are going to be on vacation for the next 2 weeks, so Dee is going to be our speak. Did somebody clap about that? I'm going to have to forgive you. No. We are, though. We're very excited. Thank you. Dee's going to be speaking next week, and Reverend Pat is going to be speaking the week after. So we always have wonderful speakers here when we're gone. So God bless you guys. Have a beautiful next week's. All right. As our band is coming forward and our ushers are coming forward, I'm going to invite you. This is our time that we get to be in loving support of Unity of Springfield. You can do that through PayPal at ccunity at sbcglobal.net, through our Tithely app, or through check or cash online. And we'd love that you guys are online with us. Thank you for being here with us today. But let's take the energy of our gift in our hands and bless it together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I did want to say one more thing real quick about the life affirmation cards. You guys can go ahead, because you can put your order form in there. All those things that you were seeing before, kind of leading up to that talk, were the life affirmation cards. And they're beautiful, they're wonderful, they're great for giving out as gifts to people. So I do hope that you will want to support that.
Thank you. And this song is called Less Than Whole, with the super awesome Unity Band. These guys are, well, except Mitch. Everybody else is cool. Just kidding. That's my brother, so I got to give him a little grief. Speaking of forgiveness, jeez. Woo. Here we go. Of course. The gray clouds have departed, the stars light up the night. Now I can see through darkness, the river shines with life. I've waded through the water, my soul is coming clean. I've held my breath forever, but now it's time to breathe. There's nothing like forgiveness to resurrect a soul. Better to give than get it. I've been forgiven, so I'm letting you know. Nobody should feel less than whole. So many broken people, their hearts forget to beat. Grown numb, no one's forgiven. Go on, forgive yourself. Go on, forgive yourself. 'Cause there's nothing like forgiveness to resurrect the soul. Better to give than get it. I've been forgiven, so I'm letting you know. Nobody should feel less than whole. There's nothing like forgiveness to resurrect the soul. Better to give than to get it. I've been forgiven, so I should know. I've been forgiven, so I should know. I've been forgiven, so I should know. Nobody should feel less than whole. There's nothing like forgiveness to resurrect the soul. Better to give than to get it. I've been forgiven, so I'm letting you know. Nobody should feel less than whole. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Oh, I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
I will shout softly. So this evening at 6 p.m., the Reverend Pat McClelland is introducing Walking the Bridgeless Canyon up to the LGBTQIA group in the Fellowship Hall. The group gathering to weave mats for our unsheltered friends has changed their weekly meetings to Thursdays. That's from 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. And if it's your first time, someone will be happy to give you instructions on how to create those. Friday, October 22nd from 5:30 to 7:30 is the Fall Fashion Boutique Ooh La La. Setup will begin at 3 p.m. when you can bring and display your gently used clothing already priced for sale. For this mini fundraiser, please come and shop and enjoy the appetizers and beverages. FYI, Dee has just eliminated and donated half of her wardrobe. Yay! She has no pants anymore and only left shoes. That's all it is. That's half of it. Saturday, October 23rd at 9 a.m., the Fall Grounds Cleanup sign-up today is the Fall Grounds Cleanup. Please sign up today on the bulletin board or at the table in the foyer. Bring your work gloves, your shears, your weed eaters, your rakes, your hedge trimmers, your leaf blowers, your scythes, your backhoes, your missile launchers, your catapults, any equipment that you might use to clean up your yard. Also bring your joy and laughter, but mostly the tools. For the New Thought World Religions class at 9:15 on Sunday, October 24th, the Reverend Les McClelland will present The Mechanics of Consciousness. And next Sunday after the service, you will have your opportunity to come to Fellowship Hall to meet your team leaders and sign up for the teams that call to you. Our Spooktacular is Saturday, October 30th from 5 to 7 p.m. It is sponsored by our YOU and Uniteens. There will be a haunted house in the youth wing appropriate for children. There will be activities. I'm sure the always popular snachos, right? I love the snachos. They are delicious. People who have decorated their trunks and are handing out candy and hot dogs will be over the bonfire. So please sign up if you're interested in participating by decorating your trunk. If you have Halloween decorations you would like to donate, please drop by the church Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. We're not open to the public, so please call the church and we'll greet you at the door. And finally, our annual talent show is Friday, November 12th at 7 p.m. We have a sign-up sheet in the back of the sanctuary, and you can leave yours with the office, or Dee has graciously invited to host a dinner if you want to discuss it with me at her place. You think I don't proofread this beforehand, Dee? You think I'm just going to sneak that in? You can't fool me. I always read through. All right, people, talent show. What's that? I'm not going to tell them what it did say, though. That's what they'll remember. Dee's house. So, love to have everybody participate for the talent show. It's fun every year. We always have a good group of people that come through. There's always a prize as well. So please sign up, and it's always a lot of fun. If you would please stand and join us in the prayer for protection. Together now, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Once again, thanks to John Merrifield, Jacob Burr, Baylor Cumberworth, Richard Sigler. Please join us in our final song, We Can Work It Out by the Beatles.
The Beatles.
You guys remember that drum beat I had from the last song? No. Same one. That's what I do. I got
So 1 and 2 and a 3 and a 4?
I won't count it.
Trying to see it my way. Do I have to keep on talking till I can't go on? While you see it your way, run the risk of knowing that our love may soon be gone. We can't work it out. We can't work it out. Think of what you're saying. You can get it wrong and still you think that it's alright. Think of what I'm saying. We can work it out and get it straight or say goodnight. We gotta work it out. We gotta work it out. Life is very short and there's no time for fussing and fighting, my friend. I have always thought that it's a crime, so I will ask you once again. Try to see it my way. Only time will tell if I am right or I am wrong. While you see it your way, there's a chance that we might fall apart before too long. We gotta work it out. We gotta work it out. Life is very short and there's no time for fussing and fighting, my friend. I have always thought that it's a crime, so I will ask you once again. Trying to see it my way. Only time will tell if I am right or I am wrong. While you see it your way, there's a chance that we might fall apart before too long. We gotta work it out. We gotta work it out.
Chimes in. Yeah. Since you ain't got a cowbell.